awesome viewers, welcome to AC Studio. In this video, we're gonna look at the latest 𝗲𝗂𝗃𝗂𝗧𝗊𝗂 of the Ultramarines by joytoy. Before we dive into this figure, please don't forget to watch my last video on the 𝗲𝗂𝗃𝗂𝗧𝗊𝗂 captain. This figure is absolutely amazing, and please check out that video when you got a chance to do so. And the first thing that comes into my mind regarding this figure is this is actually the second Ultramarines 𝗲𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗧𝗊𝗂 released by joytoy. So previously, roughly 1.5 to 2 years ago, joytoy has released the 𝗲𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗧𝗊𝗂. So this is the first 𝗲𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗧𝗊𝗂 released by joytoy. Despite it got a lot of QC issues, but I really like this figure. I still really like it because the yellow goes really well with the blue. Quite sure everyone on YouTube will do the same thing. They will compare these two together. I'll definitely compare the two. So let's have a look at the box first, and then let's open it. So this is a typical joytoy box, and what it tells us in this picture is it doesn't have a helmet. Unlike the first 𝗲𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, it actually comes with a helmet as well. So it comes with a head sculpt and helmet. And this one doesn't give us that. Let's open it and see what is inside. Okay, the cape is a separate piece together with a clear base in here. Alright, good. Let's put it there. Yep, it doesn't have a helmet. Anyway, let's open it. And that's how it looks like inside. Alright. First thing that you have to do with this figure is put the cape on it, right? This is the plastic cape. It is quite soft, which is good. And then what I need to do is I think I have to pull the arms out in order to put it in. I'll just have to pull this hand out. And I'm scared of doing that. The joints in joytoy figures are very weak, so okay, I need to be very careful with that. A little bit scared to put this out actually. Right, done. Then put this one slowly. Oh, okay, it's not too bad. What they did is they actually make this joint a much thicker joint than the first generation of the figures. So you can see this is actually a much bigger one, right? You see? So they have improved on the joint on the latest figures. Then what you do is you slip it under the pipe as per the box art. Put it in there like that. And the other one as well. Put it under it. Alright, just like that, and push it up, like that. Right, and then what you do, you just put the hands back. So the cape is similar design as per the first 𝗲𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. Except this pipe is much more longer and not as tight as this one against the body. And because the cape is a flexible cape, and it is, soft plastic, and this pipe is not very tight. So what happens is the cape is always, you can see it kind of like move in between the hands and the torso. So that is the bad thing about the first generation of the figure. And the cape actually slip inside underneath this joint here. And this is actually where you put a backpack. So the cape is always very tight against the body, so it doesn't really move around, which is really, really good. So anyway, let's put that backpack in there. So let's have a look at the accessories first, before we look at the details on the figures. One of the major accessories in this figure is the force weapon. This is a force staff, and the details of the staff is just absolutely beautiful, like absolutely amazing. The skull with the horn together looks really nice, and it also got the brown wash on it. So this whole skull detail is very well defined. The Ultramarine emblem here, look at the leaves detail. You got the black on the recess, gradually it got a lighter kind of a green color, and then on the edges which highlight with a lighter green color. So the painting of this looks really, really nice. And then you got the purity seal here with the Ultramarine U in there and the recess script, very nice. But what makes this staff amazing is the details here, right? Look at this detail here, look at that, it actually got this very nice gold metallic color, which you can see under the light, it looks really nice inside. And then the outside you got this like, you know, I don't know, pattern wrapping around this, you know, handle itself. Not only that, they actually put the weathering, the light color weathering on top of it, you know, to put a highlighting on it. So this whole thing looks really, really nice. And the details are absolutely amazing. So this stuff is definitely a highlight of this figure. And then next is the banner. So let's have a look at the banner. The ultramarine U, very nice U, very nice one. And then on the banner, we got this skull again with the horn together. So looking closely at the banner, right, I noticed that they actually put the recess letters, Tigurius, on it. And the U is actually a race U detail, right? Look at that, that's beautiful. And then you got the script, which is also recess. So what joytoy has done on this figure is they actually make that a separate mode, and then they actually put it on the banner. So you can see there's a gap here in between, you see? So you see, it is in there. So that is why they can do the recess lettering. So they put a lot of efforts doing that correctly this time. Unlike the honor guard, you know, engine on the banner itself, right? You see, this is just, you know, a print. And also it doesn't have, you know, weathering on it, you know, any brown wash on it. Look at the differences in terms of painting here, right? Look at this, you know, you got this very nice weathering on the book itself here, right? And look at the weathering on the skull as well. The horn also got the black wash on it. And if you look closely at the fire here, right? You got this, you know, red, kind of like darker red color surrounded the horn itself. So this whole thing looks really, really nice altogether. Even though this banner is a very simple design, but joytoy did, you know, really well on the finishes of it, right? It's just simple, but looks really, really good. This whole thing is one piece, and including the backpack, so you cannot pull this, or you can actually. You can pull this out. Can you pull this out? No, you cannot pull this out. You cannot pull that. So yep, you can pull this out. So yeah, okay. That looks really nice. And the backpack, again, you know, what is this funny gap here? I had a comment in the previous 2 videos regarding to this gap. It shouldn't be there. Otherwise, this backpack is the same backpack as Intercessor number 2, and they'll be using Intercessor number 3 as well. Then let's have a look at the hands as well. Gave you 3 sets of exchangeable hands. So you have 1 set of that. So I really like this kind of a pose on the hand, and the sculpting on the hand looks really good as well. Look at the sculpt of this hand, it looks really realistic as well. Very nice, I really like it. And look at that as well. And then they also gave you, you know, 1 set of hand like that, holding the staff. So that looks pretty simple, looks really good as well though. Yeah, yep. And then they also gave you fist. The fist looks really realistic as well. So above the head, you can see there is the sculpt with the horn, your motto on it as well. And the head sculpt looks really nice as well. What I really like is the eyes. I really like this kind of like psychic look eyes on it. That makes this figure very interesting. You can see all these pipes at the back as well. You know, very nice as well. You got the wrinkles on the face as well. The face expression, I love it. You know, just looks exactly like a librarian. And then on the Aquila, you got the U, also got a bit of wash as well. I don't think there are any brown wash on Aquila, but the recess lines are deep enough to, you know, make the contrast. And I love the pipe as well. They put the weathering on the gaps of the pipes, so it looks really well defined as well. Very nice. Shoulder pad, the U is a race detail. You know, it's not a print. Very nice. You know, and you got the skull motto as well here. And on the other shoulder, you got a script, you know, the skull on the script as well. We got the lighting, kind of like look of it as well. And then the hand, what I really like, this glove here, right? Looks really nice together. And they put the lighter gray color on the race details as well. So that looks really realistic, but this hand sculpt all together looks really nice. And then if you do that, look at that, looks really nice. Wow, look at that. Very nice. And the belt piece here, you got a motto there as well. And look at the keys as well, very nice, you know, very detailed. And then you got this piece, which I think they store some kind of, I don't know, magic in it, or, you know, whatever in it, I'm not too sure. Let me know if you know what it is, you know. And then you got this purity seal on it. These 3 purity seals are also different. So one got the skull, one got the triangle, and the other one got the ultramarine U as well. Very nice. And look at the squib as well. All have washes on it, brown wash on it. And then on the legs, this again is a raised U, which I don't think I've ever seen a raised U in any of the figures. But that looks really nice. I love it. And the other one, look at the lighting effect on it. Look at the shininess of the gold. I love it. This is more like yellow gold rather than pink gold. Very nice. And the rest of it, the details are similar to a Space Marine. But what they have is they have the gunslave, which is mounted on these belts here. But they don't give you a pistol in this figure. They don't give you anything. So they give you one, which is the gunslave with a gun. So that's it, and that telling you that's all you get. You'll never get this figure with the pistol. Inside here you got a Bible, very nice Bible on the ball joint as well. Yep. It doesn't have any details on the Bible here. It is not the best Bible I've ever seen in all the figures, so this is because it got nothing here, right? But otherwise, alright. This script looks really, really thick as the Bible. So what is going on here, right? It should be thinner, right? So it doesn't look that realistic, right? That looks too thick, right? And then otherwise, the figure is amazing. In terms of finishes, the Librarian obviously has a darker blue compared to a typical ultramarine blue here. And I haven't followed Warhammer for a long time now, so I'm not too sure why, but just let me know why if you know. So I really like this blue color. It gives you something different compared to the other figures that I got. I think the dark blue also comes really nicely with the gold. The contrast stands out more. And even though it is, very dark blue, joytoy still put black shadowing on the figure. They put this black shadowing everywhere. So this whole figure doesn't look boring, doesn't just look like a dark blue, but it got, kind of like variation on the armor itself. And as I mentioned before, I really like this highlighting on the glove, and they put a brown wash on the skull, details, right? So they did it right this time, not putting black wash, as per the captain there, right? And they also put brown wash onto the cloth itself, right? So they put brown, color on the recess, and even inside they put a bit of brown wash there as well, brown shadowing on the recess, you see. But I think it looks better if it is a little bit darker. This is a little bit too light, but otherwise it's alright. And the back, you can see the cape. I think the shape looks really nice as well, the cape. And also, they put a bit of black shadowing on the recess. And the pipe as well, even the gaps here, the recess, they put black wash on it. So this figure, is really well painted in my opinion. The new Librarian as compared to old Librarian, obviously, there are different generation of figures. This was released 2 years ago, right? And it was just recent release. Obviously, all the joints detail, and then the design is much better. It's much more stronger. The joints are very stiff, and obviously this one, everybody know that it got issues. Like you got very loose shoulder joint, loose hand as well. These things are falling apart. Look at that. So this figure is obviously not as good as this one when it comes to the quality control issue, right? Joytoy definitely done really well on this one. It doesn't have any silly quality issues, but I still really like the first Librarian, right? It was painted differently. They don't highlight the edges anymore on the latest figures. If we compare it with the first Librarian, to be honest, I do think the first Librarian, the details and the sculpt is much better compared to this, but I still think this is really good. I really like this one, right? But that one looks more like a real person. It looks more realistic. And also you notice that in the first one, they put a lot of efforts in doing this. If you look back to this head, right, you realize Joytoy put a lot of efforts in painting this head as well. You see they put the highlighting on it, whereas this one you see they don't really put highlighting at all. So each color is just a plain color, whereas here you see they put a lot of like highlighting on it. Is it on the top of it or the back of it? You see, even though yes, I think the highlighting doesn't look good, but it does make this head looks much more realistic in many ways. So but anyway, I still like this, but not as good as the first one. Even though I know this figure is much better than this one, and it also comes with a banner, where this one doesn't have a banner, doesn't look as imposing as the latest librarian, right? But I still really like the first one, you know. I mean, in terms of colors, maybe because it is in a yellow cloth, yellow cape, so that's why I still think this figure looks really good in my opinion. And at first, you know, I wasn't really gonna get this because I already got this figure. But I'm saying to myself, look, you know, this figure is okay, the price is okay, reasonable, and why don't I have two librarians instead of one? It doesn't really matter. And this figure has been a bit old now as well, and you know, it's kind of wobbly as well, it cannot stand really well, things falling off, but doesn't matter, you know, I'll just get another one. So that's why I got it, so I'm very happy to get this figure. In the conclusion, I would say I really love this figure. I think this figure is relatively simple figure, but with great details. And Joytoy did really well on all the little details on the figure. So as compared to the first librarian, the Joytoy has improved on the design of the cape. And the cape doesn't really, you know, affect the articulation of the figure. But the figure lack of accessories, you know, it doesn't come with any bolt pistols or any bolt or whatever. It only got the staff. It's better if we got a little bit more, consider the price that we're paying for this figure is similar to other figures like the chaplain. This librarian as compared to the previous one, right? This figure definitely has shown that Joytoy has improved on their product and on their design. And the painting and finishes of this figure is really good. So I highly recommend this new librarian. So now comes to the end of this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. And please let me know what you think of this figure. Have you got it? Are you gonna get it? And I will speak to you next time. Bye for now.